The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in, everyone, on a Sunday. I am Jack Neary from Fantasy Farm Sports. We've got Greg Kratzer, the old gamer GK. How are we feeling, Greg?
We are doing wonderful. We are doing great. Sorry missed you guys last week, but we are back this week, and we're back with vengeance.
We're back with vengeance. Oh, you know what? Every once in a while, you just got to gather your thoughts when you got a slow week, but we've got some new ones. And, we want to talk about some Olympics, right? That's where we want to start.
Absolutely.
I understand that there's football going on. We got camp news. Major League Baseball is starting to trend towards mid-August and September. We'll get into some baseball talk later, but let's highlight some of the Olympics, right?
Yes.
We've got names such as Simone Biles and Kayla Ledecky. They're carrying the U.S. in medals again. They've done it in years past. Biles has 3 golds this year. She's showcased her skills in artistic individual all around. She's not just all about herself. She also participated in the team all around. Another gold there. And again, in the vault artistic gymnastics. And, a lot of people did well in those competitions.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really, it's tough. And when you're trying to work the vault and you're trying to hit the balance beam, it's a really tough competition. But, no one showcased Biles' grace, her style, and her mastery of each movement. She doesn't even look like she's trying. That's how great she is. I mean, you just sit there and you go, just give her the gold. Like, I want to watch her. But why are we even watching everybody else? That's how great she is. I don't know if you've watched much of her. She's all 4 foot something.
Yeah, she's tiny. Very tiny. Very.
But I don't even know how a person does that. I broke my knees watching her do it. I was like, oh my God, that thing should snap. It did not. But yeah, she's done really well. And, she's done well for the United States brand. She's done all the commercials, all the interviews. And, it's nice to remember some faces. Right? For years, we had Michael Phelps. Before him, we had Mia Hamm, the soccer player. Right, she was really good for the women's soccer team. Right, years past we had Carl Lewis. Right, but it's good when they return. Now I know what I'm looking for.
Yes,
you had Michael Johnson for the men's team. Right, you had all these names, and once they make the name, it's good when you get the return. Right, because you know what to look forward to.
Absolutely. You as us Americans, we're very patriotic. But it's also nice when we can root for our country and a player on our country that we know.
Yeah, we're proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know anything about these sports, but I don't want to see anybody else win them. I don't know anything. She flips on the bit. I watched men's trampolining the other day, and I was like, whatever, man, bounce the highest. I don't know. It brings out a little bit extra in you, right? So you want to see your team win. And it's one time that we're all rooting for our same team, not necessarily our same state or, team within the state. Right?
Yes.
We're collected. I think that's interesting.
Right now what I'm doing is I'm bringing up, taking our cameras off, and I'm showing everybody out there. If you're watching,
favor Greg just did, everybody. He took the cameras off of us. What a fantastic idea.
And then I added the medal count for this year. So if you
where we at? How we doing?
Look at the medal count right now. We right now China has 19 gold, 15 silver, 11 bronze, total 45. We're right behind with gold with 18, but where we crush them is everything else. I mean, 26 silver, 25 bronze. We're at 69 medals right now. There's
Okay.
nobody even close to us. The closest total medal count is China at 45.
Okay.
So we have what, 24 more medals than them total? That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. France is right up there. We knew France was going to do well. I thought France was going to do a little bit better than what they did do, but they're hanging in there with a total of 43. Then it just trails off dramatically from there. Everybody else just plays second fiddle to us three.
I have to say, I don't mind losing to 2 countries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind losing to the host country. I hope they do well. Right?
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
they're putting in all the work, right?
It's home field advantage.
Right. But I don't mind. I want them to, they put all of it on. They put all the effort there. It's being held there. I don't mind if France does well.
Yes.
And the only other countries that I hope do well or take home some medals are the countries with like 8 athletes.
Mm-hmm.
How don't you root for one of the 8 to get something?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
One of the
we've
small
got
guys.
plenty of athletes. As long as we come out on top, I'm happy. But if in some way South Sudan could find themselves to like a bronze medal in basketball, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
I want to highlight our second female of note, Katie Ledecky. A little bit about her. She's taken home 4 medals in these Olympics. She got 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. So she's got the color spectrum taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Ledecky's medal count over her Olympic career now stands at 14. It's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Doesn't she tie the women's? Right? She tied the women's for the total medals?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. Her gold medals were in the 800 and 1500 free this year. And the 800 free has been her specialty since her first Olympics. This is crazy. Her first Olympics, she competed in London in 2012. And she took home gold at the age of 15.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were you doing when you were 15? She's just collecting right? She's collecting gold medals.
She's collecting gold medals. I was collecting suspensions in school.
Oh my God. That's not. We apologize for Greg's suspensions.
Oh.
No, talk about focus though. That's a credit not just to Katie, but the whole Ledecky family. Staying focused and doing everything consistently. I just thought that was crazy that she won her first gold at the age of 15. I just wanted to kind of highlight that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta love that. You gotta love a story. That's like the American story, though, isn't it?
It is.
But it really is. It just shows you that anybody can do anything at any time, at any age.
Work hard, kick ass, take names. USA.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's right. That's what we do. We kick ass and take names.
That's what we do. Speaking of a few more kick ass, we got Ryan Krauser wins gold United States men's shot put. What's interesting about that is that he's had a shin injury, and as recent, he's had an elbow injury, the funny bone nerve, just 2 months ago. So it's his arm he throws with was injured, and he still was able to. I literally looked at the TV and I went, "There's no way he can take gold. There's no way he can even medal." Took home gold. Awesome. Real quick feet. Real fast feet. And it helped get his hips around. I'm sure once he retires, he'll have a fantastic golf game. Sha'Carri Richardson came up short. She took silver in the women's 100-meter sprints. But you know what? She lost to a better opponent. St. Lucia's Julian Alford earned the gold in that 100-meter event. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but she can fly. Can
she? Yeah, no, I did not. I did not get to see it.
She won the qualifier, and I sat there and I went, nobody can beat her. It felt like Usain Bolt against everybody else.
Okay.
She was taller. She got out of the blocks fast. And just when she finally stood up and took off, there was no touching her. So congratulations to her. It wasn't somebody stumbled or made a mistake or come out of the bra. Everybody raced a great race. She's the fastest.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
Those are my Olympic highlight and takeaways so far?
Hmm.
We got some Olympic Games left, right?
Absolutely, we got a lot. We got golf going on right now.
Oh, what do you got?
Right
What do you
now,
got for golf?
Scotty Scheffler is leading. He's 19 under, stroke play. He went from 5th up to, 1st yesterday, so that was big, that was big.
Well, that's a big move.
Absolutely, absolutely. He is, I don't see his tee off time. Yeah, I do not see his tee off time right now for today, but I bel 3 o'clock. I believe this is over.
Is it over?
I believe it is. I'm pretty sure Scotty Scheffler won the gold. Won the
Oh, it's
gold in
fantastic.
stroke play.
That's
Won the
great.
gold in stroke play. So I'm gonna roll with that news,
Okay.
because this says it is over.
Okay.
4 rounds is over. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Scotty Scheffler, won the
That's fair.
gold for stroke play, in the Olympics. Great Britain was right behind, Tommy Fleetwood, and then, right behind him for 3rd for bronze was Japan, Hideki
Matsuyama.
Matsuyama. Yep, mhm. Yep, so,
So
yeah. Rory was, tied for 5th, if anybody if you're looking for names, Rory was for Ireland, of course, and, yeah, he came in 5th at 15 under. That's really the only other name besides Scotty that really jumps out at me.
will that lock Scheffler as golfer of the year?
It should, shouldn't it?
Well, my whole thing is like it's been him and Schauffele, right? Really
Yeah,
kind of,
yep,
but
mhm.
I think that's got to lock him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yep,
wanted to
I
ask,
agree.
but that's what I think.
I agree with that 100%.
You know,
You kinda have to give it to him. Even though Bo Shan did, had a great season this year, but I mean, he didn't win a gold.
I feel like if
You know?
there's a tiebreaker, it's
That
got
kinda
to be
has
a
to
gold
go.
medal.
Yeah, no, you absolutely. I agree 100%. 100%. See here. That's all I got as far as Olympics. I don't have too much
Oh
more
no,
on
you've
it.
got other things.
Men's. Oh, I forgot the big one. The big one actually
You
is
got other things.
the men's basketball. Actually, you know what? Before we get into men's basketball, quickly, I just
Uh-oh.
want to point something out on the women's team. They've had the lowest ratings in the Olympics. Women's NBA.
Is that right?
Yes. What WNBA, the women's team, whatever you want to say, WNBA, whatever they are, but the women's Olympics team has had the lowest ratings.
It's a little
Maybe they're missing Caitlin. Who am I to say?
it's a little
Except for
interesting.
Greg Krautzer, and I say yes, they are.
It's a little look at it's a little interesting. We all know Caitlin's gonna get her time.
And we
I
know next Olympics she'll be in. You're right. She will get her time. But what we were talking about a month ago, you and me,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
we said this was gonna happen. If you look back at the previous episode that when we talked about Caitlin Clark being snubbed off the Olympic team, Jack and I both said this was going to happen.
yeah, but we also said it's probably one last ride for the old dogs.
Yeah,
I'm not
yes.
calling them dogs. Don't be
Mhm.
you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Right, for the ladies
Yeah.
that have been carrying the torch for the league,
Mhm.
through the many years it has not been, profitable.
Yes.
Um,
You good
they
very
still
good players, by the way. Very good players.
Oh, they can
That
play.
some of them all-time greats, you
I'm
know,
not
for their perspective sport. But you're getting such horrible ratings. If you come away with the gold, I mean, ultimately that's what your main uh, goal is. It's not for the ratings; it's for the gold. But I mean, if you can have both, mm,
I feel like everything's kinda down a little bit, right? That's why we mentioned Biles, that's why we mentioned Ledecky, because those are the names we know.
mhm,
Those are the names we're familiar with, and you have to make your name and come back a second time. And I don't know if anyone, it may be Tarazi, but, I mean, everybody else on this women's team hasn't really separated.
mhm,
I think that's the best word. They haven't
yeah,
really separated themselves in any form or fashion. nothing spectacular. No 50-point games. Nothing.
Mhm.
No insanity. Right.
Yes. Mhm.
And even in years past, the men's team had something. Right. Oh, the dream team.
Yeah.
Sure, they've been gone and past. Vince Carter dunked over a man. If you guys haven't seen this, go on YouTube. Vince Carter dunked over a guy.
Yeah.
He stole the
Yeah.
ball, and the guy got scared. I think he ducked down to six. Vince Carter
Yeah,
found a
just
way to
dunk
get.
down a little bit. He didn't dunk down like curl up.
He
He
dunked on
hunched
a
his
man.
back. He
Yeah,
arched his
and by the
back.
way, now that man can't get any women in his country because that's highlight is everywhere on YouTube. It's like, how could
Everywhere.
I date you? You didn't push me, you ducked down?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Yep.
think so. I don't think we'll be going out again. But honey, I'm an Olympian. Yeah, you're not really an Olympian though.
Yeah, not really.
You ducked
Yeah.
down, right? You're not a hero. You're more of you're a countryman who dribbles
Yeah.
the ball a little bit and gets dunked on. Ugh.
Well,
but
on
I mean,
that
that really
note,
happened.
as a segue, let's go into the men's then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So okay, so I watched the men's the other day, and
yes.
here's what I thought. And I'm not like his biggest fan, and it's really how he's been painted, not clearly his play. But
Mhm.
if for all these years you're trying to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan, it's an unfair comparison, right? And even the new commercial that's out with him, him saying that he just wants to win and he's got a disease and he just wants to be there and win and fight and all this other stuff, and he's got really this problem that he can't get rid of because he just wants to be. You do realize that Jordan actually said that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
He said all these things. Now they've put it in a LeBron James commercial.
Mhm.
If we could get rid of that, if we can get rid of all the marketing that isn't really even his label.
Mhm.
I thought he did a really good job putting players in good spots the other day.
Yeah.
I thought it was really important that when Jason Tatum did come off the bench, that LeBron got him into some action and got him the ball. He
Mhm.
recognized the fact that, hey, Tatum he's getting a little bit of poor news. And
Mhm.
it'd be nice to get him going early. He notices when Kevin Durant doesn't touch the ball for 3 possessions, get him in some action. He
Mhm.
set a pick for Curry the other day. I think he is a good teammate, especially in these events.
Mhm.
But if I need a shot from him, that's not who he's gonna be.
No, 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 and I'm not looking at him to do that. I'm looking for him to do exactly what he's doing, is to lead this team, and that seems what he's doing. He's leading the team. He's doing the little things.
Yeah, and you know what? He's done fine, and he's the reason why, by the way, because there was somebody saying it the other day, "Oh, where's Tyrese Halliburton?" Tyrese Halliburton has the same skill set
Yeah.
LeBron James does. He
Mhm.
he puts people in good positions. He moves around, but again, it's part of being able to play with somebody is being able to have the same conversations,
Mhm.
being able to have the same commonalities, right? Hey, how's your family doing?
Mhm.
Right? And Drew Holiday is closer in age than LeBron James, or to
Mhm.
LeBron James, than Halliburton. Halliburton and Tatum are still very young. And maybe they help lead the team later on, but it's still LeBron, Durant, Curry type of team. Even
Mhm.
Holidays, even because Holiday's old, it's an older team. This is the reason why Isaiah Thomas was not chosen to go onto the first dream team is not just because, and I know Jordan takes the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Nobody liked him.
Mhm.
Bird didn't like him. Magic didn't like him. Pippen didn't like him. I mean, we can continue.
Yeah,
They
he
didn't
just
like
rubbed the
him.
people the wrong way. That's it.
Right.
He was a complete
Bad boys.
competitor. I mean,
Bad boys.
even people said the same thing about Kobe. Like they didn't like him. They didn't like him because of his drive, because of his insanity. Like those guys, him and Jordan, they were borderline psychotic. They really
But they
were.
held the Nike clout.
Yeah, but
And
that's
and,
just
and
a clout. They held being great. Like that's the clout they held. They were great. And so, like, other players might have hated them, but they couldn't say anything because they were so great.
Well, I mean, we do know that a little bit of this is the Nike Olympics, right? It's called the Olympics, but it's a little
Yeah,
bit the
yeah.
Nike
Yep,
Olympics.
yep. We all know. Yep.
So since we all know, it's like, Isaiah Thomas was always me against the world.
Hmm.
Well, just understand that as the United States, we're going over there to play the world.
Hmm.
And if it's just you against the world, maybe you're going to stay in Detroit.
Yeah, but we know that's not the reason why he stayed in Detroit. We all know that. It's come out. Multiple sources has come out and said the reason why he wasn't in the Olympics.
Yeah, I think Michael came out and spoke for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know, but it wasn't
And
just
it's sad
people.
because those two used to be friends. They were friends. Like you asked Jordan before that all happened, before that non-handshake got when the Bulls beat the Pistons, when they just walked off the court, like he was in shock. Like I expected that more from Jordan than Isaiah,
Well,
knowing
he
personalities.
he talks about Isaiah he'll talk about the fact that Bird, did that to him, and that's how his initiation came. Okay. Okay. But couldn't you do better?
Yeah, you
Couldn't you
knew
do
how
better?
that made you feel.
Oh, right.
You know
Right. Couldn't you do
so
better? I'm sure you could have.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, by the way,
Did it
man,
hurt a lot that he beat you? Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
Isaiah
But
Thomas likes to paint himself as this holier than thou. Let's remember how his Knicks tenure went.
oh, I know. I know. Yep.
Not the
Not
cleanest
good. Yeah. Not,
resume.
not good at all.
Not the cleanest resume. So, you
Uh
know,
One thing I
but
wanted to quickly touch on. Oh, go ahead. Finish up what you
but
were talking about with that.
but I do really it actually made me proud watching because USA was up by 5 yesterday to Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
And I went, "Okay, let's see." And they went from 5 to 9, 9 to 15, 15 to 21, and then they but I was really impressed on how LeBron controlled the whole game.
Yeah. Hmm.
I thought it was Embiid got touches. Everybody got touches
Yeah.
because of how he was moving and orchestrating.
Hmm.
And, I was impressed by his play.
Hmm.
So that's my biggest takeaway. Everybody's like, "Yeah, but Tatum didn't play, or this guy didn't play." That's not the biggest takeaway for me is how the game was being controlled. I thought he controlled it fantastically.
Okay. All right.
So,
Well, that you kind of touched a little bit on my biggest takeaway from the men's side of basketball for the Olympics is and I don't have an issue with it, but I love how everybody's calling out Steve Kerr about him not playing certain players in certain games. The guy's a four-time coach, NBA champion, a how many time NBA as a player?
oh God, I don't have those
You
stats.
know, I mean, he's
Yep.
won at least 3 or 4 as a player. Had to have. I will look that up for you guys, but I hate how everybody is questioning him on it. Like he set up the lineup compared to the people they were playing. People are saying, I know Stephen A. Smith was giving him a hard time about not playing Tatum for what was it, 2 games he didn't play him for. He
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't needed. He wasn't needed. Why play him in no minutes? His point was, you can't tell me that there's not 10 there's 10 better people than Tatum on that team. He's right, but he wasn't needed. Can he play every position on the floor? Has he at one point? Yes, he could play 5 different positions on the floor. He played a little bit of center when Porzingis was out during the year. So he can even play that if they wanted him to. But my
Look,
my thing is quit questioning the coach.
everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, even Stephen A. Smith. Once upon a time, Stephen A. Smith was a fantastic beat writer, and
Mhm.
and now
For
he's
Philadelphia.
become, huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And he had credence and he had flavor in all of the articles that he wrote, and now he's succumbed for money to become ESPN's Reverend Basketball Balker. That's what he does.
Mhm.
He barks about basketball in his opinion, and he does it in a reverend attitude. And whether it does have credence or not, it still comes out of his mouth.
Mhm.
And it's hot take central. It's not very good. It's straight from the hip, and sometimes there's nothing to back it up. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, a real reporter has just become a character on ESPN. How
Yeah,
about that?
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
And it's
Just to let
sad.
everybody know, Steve Kerr, he has won 4 titles as a coach and 5 during his playing career. 3 with the Bulls and 2 with the Spurs with Pop. He was 5-0, going perfect 5-0 as a
I'll
player.
just, I'll be honest with you. Again, his career and credentials speak for themselves.
Yeah,
But
he has a resume that like you can't question.
but at this current time, I can outreport Stephen A. Smith.
Mhm.
And that's because I sit here and I digest it. I don't have to. It's not first reaction,
Mhm.
right? It's not first reaction. I sit here, I go, think about it. I think about why the thing happened, how it could have been done better,
Mhm.
and why he did that. I don't think Steven. Look at. I think Tatum. I think he's going to need Tatum because I think in these
Yes.
early rounds where you're using your older guys, the legs are
Yes.
going to get tired.
Later on in the tournament, he is going to be needed. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. That's what I don't get that I g I get he's a yelling clickbaiter is what he is anymore. That's what Stephen A. Smith is. He's a yelling clickbaiter. He grasps at race as much as he can, and he likes to yell. Um, if he really thought about what Steve Kerr was doing, he would have came up with the same stuff we're coming up with. It's a long tournament. He's going to need him later on. He's a 4-time coach, champion coach. He knows what he's doing. There's a reason why he is these guys lining up the lineups the way that he has. Specifically, the one game he didn't play Abib. He came out. They asked him at the press conference. He said, "Listen, it's because they were a smaller lineup. That we were playing against a team that had a very small lineup. No need to put Abib out there. We just put a small lineup out there, and look what happened."
I would, you know what I wish, because Steve Kerr is such a polite man, so that's why they pick on him a little bit. But I
Yes,
wish he
and he
was.
is. He always has a smile on his face.
I wish he was less polite. I wish
Mhm.
he was like Bob Knight, less polite.
Ooh.
No,
Ooh.
listen, because Bob Knight would walk into the press conference and he would go, first of all the guys I didn't play tonight, I don't like anymore. Next question.
Yeah.
And we would. He would do that.
But
And
the
then when he
sad
does
thing
that,
is,
you're like, no.
sad thing though, this day and age, a coach like that can't coach. They won't allow him.
Well, they don't.
He's not PC enough. He's
Yeah,
not.
they
You know
don't.
what I mean?
It's
They would never let him be himself.
they don't understand the little bit of snide remarks that night would, so
Oh
so
yeah.
if he like if you ask me, you're like, "Oh, so why didn't you play so and so tonight?" I'd be like, I don't like Tatum." Or I'd give some ridiculous story,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, "Oh, we as a team, we all went out to ice cream the other day, and I told Embiid that I like chocolate ice cream. Do you know he bought me vanilla?"
Just make up stories.
And no, but people act like things don't like that don't happen seriously.
Mhm.
But they do happen seriously. I'll give you a serious example of how it happened just last week.
Mhm.
NFL players reported to camp. Joe Burrow reported with blonde hair.
Mhm.
All the reporters asked him about his blonde hair, and he had a story. He didn't have to answer any wrist issues.
Mhm.
He played you before you were able to play him.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Yep.
Jimmy Butler flattened his hair before the press conference, right? The year after they didn't win the finals.
Uh-huh.
Got ya. You're gonna ask about my hair because it's a good picture.
Mhm.
These things happen all the time. You just gotta be smart. Steve Kerr's too polite of a man. He's nice to the media because that's how he got his start.
Mhm.
But I mean, can we have some fun here? That's all we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Every
it.
single
That's it.
day, we're
Sports is
trying to wake
fun.
up
Come on.
and screw with people.
All right. All right. So yeah, that's my take on that on the whole basketball thing is just let him do his job.
I think he's built the team organically. If you
Mhm.
look at it, right? I want you to look at the starting lineup. Look at the ages. Look at the conversations they can have, right? And then if you look at the backups, it's almost a 3-year difference,
Mhm.
right? He might leave Durant out there for a couple of shots. It all
Mhm.
depends on who he wants. So let's get the idea out of the way that Jason Tatum is a better basketball player or could shoot better than Kevin Durant. If you guys think that, stop watching basketball.
Yeah, and
There's a whole
they're a
season coming
prisoner
up
of
you
the
don't have to
moment.
watch.
Yeah, well, and they're a prisoner of the moment. Well, he just won an NBA championship, and he was a key contributor. What did Durant do this year? Blah blah blah. So everybody's a prisoner of the moment.
I do want to say that Olympic basketball play is way more physical than the NBA.
Mhm.
Okay? There's a reason why Carmelo Anthony excelled at it. They let him play.
Yeah.
They let you play a little bit more. They let you use your body a little bit more. It's
Mhm.
much closer to 90s and 80s NBA. I'm not
Mhm.
saying people are getting their noses beaten off, right?
Yeah.
You're not losing teeth aren't flying. But I am saying that if you think you're going to get ticky tack,
Mhm.
that call's not coming. And I do think that
No.
Jason
No.
Tatum doesn't shoot the ball well enough not to be able to get those calls. Durant will just
Mhm.
rise up and shoot and hit the shot, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Tatum doesn't have that shot or he doesn't have the same confidence he once had in it.
Mhm.
And if he goes to the basket and looks for fouls, they don't
He's not going to get
care.
them.
He's not
Yeah.
going to get
Yeah.
them.
He's not going to. Yeah.
So, I mean, Kerr's looking at a lot of different things. He's a well-traveled, excellent coach. And I think at the end of the day, he likes to build a team organically. If no one stuck up for Draymond Green when he's had those incidences, he'd be the first one gone.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But Kerr watched
Mhm.
everyone stick up for him, and he went, "He's really important here. I have to
Mhm.
keep him."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
it.
mean, so much to where they kept Green. Pretty much, they decided to keep Green and not Thompson
Or
and not
Poole.
Clay. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that video was brutal, but everybody
Mhm.
went, "Okay, but, it's we really need," and everybody went to bat for him, so Poole was out.
Yeah. Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I don't know if that it was the right decision for the team, but it
Mm.
was tough in the moment having to tell a player down the line after the video surfaced that he was gone.
Yeah. I mean that,
Tough.
but I mean we all seen. I mean that was kind of. I mean Poole hasn't done anything. What did he get traded to? The Wizards. You know, he was a shell of himself. He had that one good year with us. We paid him because we thought he was going to end up being something, and he wasn't. He wasn't what we thought he was going to be. He is a
Well,
role player. That's what Poole is. We
you
thought he
know,
was
it
gonna blossom into a superstar. I mean, the way he was playing the second half of the season and through those playoffs, it looked like he was going to. His projection was going up, but I mean,
and that's the
we've
same with
seen
Kyle
flash in the
Kuzma.
pans before.
That's the same with Kyle Kuzma. I
Mhm,
just talked about LeBron knowing what moments, right, to make things happen. You
mhm,
know, if we're being honest, and I know he hasn't played in a season because of injuries to himself, but you know that Pelicans team with Lonzo Ball was fun.
mhm,
That Lakers team, he started getting Kyle Kuzma into games and into spots and into rhythm, right? That was fun,
mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And he understands how to do that. It's tough that he's suffered so many injuries, but at the end of the day, those things are important.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know, Green knows when Curry needs 2 in a row.
Mhm,
And vice versa. Oh, he just hit 2 in a row. Maybe I'm gonna throw a bounce pass down here, get Looney a quick one.
mhm.
This is how the game is played.
Yes.
They can all hit shots.
Mhm.
Right. We should probably segue to more camp news besides
Yes.
Burrow's
Camp
blonde
news.
hair. besides Blondie
I thought he
locks in
was doing. I
Cincinnati.
thought he was. I mean, what you said was made a great point about that. I thought he was just really hyped about the new Eminem album. So that's what I
No, Joe
thought.
Burrow gets to the game early and plays 2 hours of chess against himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's nuts.
yeah. You know,
Yeah, if you're gonna be one
everybody has
step
their
ahead of
thing
him, just think he's there 2 hours early thinking about you.
early. Yeah, 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 yeah. All
All
right.
right,
Well,
Greg.
exciting time going on right now. We got NFL in camp. We just got done with the Hall of Fame game, so we got to see, if you want to call it football, we got to see some football. That was exciting. Come on, you could give that lip all you want. I seen it come out when I said football. It's still football. Preseason is still football. It's I don't look at it as a game like a lot of people do. I look at it as a glorified practice like coaches do. So that's why I like preseason. I get to
So
see my
there's
second and
one
third
position that is
stringers.
playing, though. There's one
What's that?
position that's playing 100% full-time right now, and that's offensive lines. Offensive lines have to get down blocking schemes. They
Yeah.
need to get down cadences. They need to get down unity,
Mhm,
right? They need to get down timing. So
mhm.
I watch preseason games only to watch offensive lines.
Okay. I do it for a different reason. I like I said, I do it to see my second, third stringers, see the depth of my team. Uh, the starters, I don't care about scoring. I just want to see that they're making the right reads and running the right routes. So that there, I don't put too much stock into it. Uh, but other than that, I am ecstatic. Football is back. Ecstatic. Your thoughts on? Are you excited? Are you kind of dampening your excitement because it
I
is
don't know
only
what's
training camp? Or
I'm hearing some odd stories. So out of training camp from beat writers, and I'm not going to disclose names, but there was a Chicago beat writer that disclosed the fact that we weren't going to hear a lot about Caleb Williams
Mhm,
during that Hall of Fame game.
mhm,
And the reason why we weren't going to hear a lot about him is because he's not winning the starting job. The word from camp is that Tyler Bagnett's really stepped up his game
mhm,
and he's winning the camp battle. That's what I'm hearing. So they didn't say anything about Bagnett, nor did they say anything about Williams.
mhm,
And there's some truth to this guy is not like he's close to the team, but he's not like inside the locker room, right?
mhm.
He's invited to practices and stuff, and that's what he's seeing. So I thought
Okay.
that was interesting news
Mhm.
from
Absolutely.
Chicago. Um,
I
what
I
else?
think I think Caleb Williams will end up having the job. I think it's a side note is that DJ Moore, he got some money. He got a pay raise. They re-signed him for the next 4 years. So that's big for the Bears.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep. I mean, they have 3 wide receivers that most any quarterback would love, let alone a rookie quarterback. So,
Could we
yeah,
see?
that's big news.
Could we see? And I just want to throw this idea out there because I've been thinking about it.
Mhm.
Could we see a Richardson like season from Indianapolis?
Mhm.
He starts the season off, whatever, banged up. Bagnet comes in, looks like Minshew.
Mhm. I mean, we could. We could. I don't think Caleb Williams, I mean, he's never really had a, uh, a history of injuries, so I'm really
No,
not too concerned with that at all. I don't think he's really gonna get banged up. I mean, could he? Yeah, he's a rookie.
yeah,
Um, everything from what I'm hearing that Caleb Williams is having a good camp. He's not
okay,
having a stellar camp. He's not blowing any doors away, but we're not looking for him. I'm saying it as I'm a fan, but I'm not. Um, they're not looking for him to blow the doors off. They're just looking for him to slowly pick up the NFL game a little bit. We know what you can do off script. Let's learn the script. Let's learn the playbook right now. That's
okay.
what we need you to do. We need you to not have the 70, I forget, I think it was like 72% unscripted plays in college he ran. We don't need you to do that. We want you to run our offense. We built a offense for you. We have dogs here. We have some dogs. We can play. We just need you to be the point guard. Get the ball out to the open guy. That's all we need you to do. And
And it's
as a rookie, that's great. That's great as a rookie. That's all that you look for as a rookie. And then because that's all he needs to do. He just needs to learn he has all the athleticism. He has all the unscripted playability. Let's get you under control. Let's get you to play in our system, use our pieces, and then when the play breaks down, then you could show your athleticism. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and the tools and last season, is not a great representation of what he likes to do. I believe his offensive line was ranked 128th in the nation.
Listen, I'm
So-
just throwing out the numbers that
No,
I
I know.
have. That's all I'm doing. And we've
No, I know.
had this discussion about him before. I like a guy that can play in my system. If you can do a little bit outside the pocket, unscripted plays, all right, that's a plus. But ultimately, I want somebody that's going to run my system. That's why I like Purdy.
I
is
released
because he can run the system.
I released my top 5 fantasy running backs
Mhm.
just last week, right? And basically it comes down to offensive line and opportunity, the 2 O's for me.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
And at 5th I had Jahmyr Gibbs. At 4th I've got Bijan Robinson. 3rd I've got Christian McCaffrey. 2nd I've got Breece Hall, and 1st I've got Saquon Barkley. Here's a little tidbit. I'm starting to hear Chase Brown everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm hearing
Cincinnati's
a lot about
running
Brown
back.
too. Yeah.
You're here?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm hearing a lot. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of chatter about him.
And so I was like, fine, I'll go watch his highlights from last year. In the beginning of the year, he was just a speed back. Couldn't really break
Mhm.
tackles. As the year
Yep.
went on, he started learning.
Mhm.
And so my comp to that, and he's a little bit bigger and he's faster, better athlete, by the way,
Mhm.
than this guy I'm gonna name. My comp to him is Kyron Williams.
Okay.
Kyron Williams, nice player, got
Mhm.
stronger, learned how to broke more tackles as the year went on. He got more comfortable in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Brown can fly.
Yeah.
I mean, Raheem Mostert fly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yeah, he has speed.
and I think if they get him in, advantageous situations, I mean, you see 60-yard touchdown runs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, he's shot out of a cannon fast, and there's no mix in there. And I understand that they signed, and I had this whole assumption as well that they signed Zach Moss, and Zach Moss, I believe, is going to play a role.
Yes. They didn't sign him just for him to ride the bench the whole time. He is going to be your starter right now, and Brown is going to come being sprinkled in a little bit. But as the season progressed, I think like Gibbs took over more carries than Montgomery. I think that's kind of what's going to happen with the Bengals.
And this is Chase Brown's 2nd year.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think you're going to see a more of a Gibbs and Moss-like return. Yeah, that's the comp I was given. And so my point is that, nobody's drafting Chase Brown. Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, you could take a flyer on him in the 12th, 13th round, but you're not you're not drafting him because you think he's going to produce for you right away. You're drafting him for his ceiling.
I think if you
his floor is low, his floor is very low, but his ceiling is up there.
I think you could do something like this, and I just wanted to. So if you got to draft, let's say you draft a Saquon Barkley. Wherever you are in your draft, let's say you're lucky enough to get him. And then you get somebody in the 4th rounds like Ramondre Stevenson. He's going to get the carries, right? And you sift through players, take your quarterbacks, take your tight ends. All of a sudden, you've got Ramondre Stevenson's friend sitting there, right, from last season in like the 10th round, Ezekiel Elliott. Well, Zeke's going to get the carries, and he's probably going to get 10 touchdowns. I'm just letting you guys know this. It's probably going to happen. Okay? And you're going to get him late because everybody forgets what he used to look like in a Cowboys uniform.
Yeah.
And then next round, if you're looking for a guy with tremendous upside, I know everyone loves Zamir White. But the answer could be Chase Brown.
It could be. Absolutely.
It's something that
Mhm.
needs to start to marinate and be thrown out there.
Mhm.
Now
And
that's how you catch those lions.
Jack and I, we haven't discussed it yet, but we will. We are going to have a couple weeks coming up that our podcast is just dedicated strictly on fantasy football and nothing else. Um, we both have a lot of knowledge to drop on you. We got a lot of sleepers to drop on you. We have a lot of disagreements and players that we have. So you'll get two different points of view on these players. So you guys really need to stick around for our upcoming fantasy draft specials
We
that we're
don't
going to have.
disagree on players at all. I disagree on that take. No, we
Oh,
don't.
do you?
'Cause
We
nah,
we
yeah,
we
I
to a
just
degree. We do. We do. Ultimately, I would say probably about 70% of the players we agree on.
yeah, there's a 70 to
100%
80%
where
window.
yeah, where they're taking, where they're going, we both agree on. Then there's that other 20-30% where we are just way off on each other.
Like, on the for instance, on the McCaffrey front, you probably wouldn't have him at 3.
No, I have them at 1.
Right.
That's where I mean, and
But my
listen, try
assessment
to change my mind. I'm
but my
fine with that.
my assessment, you really don't disagree with.
But
The
even
reason
with
why I
his
got him coming back, just a
even
little.
with his a little bit of drop in carries, a little bit of drops in receptions, he's still, I mean, number 1 for in fantasy, in
He
my
could
book
finish
anyways,
he could finish one, but I just thought,
you know?
rock and chalk is boring.
Now look,
It's
listen, you're allowed to have your opinion.
better to have the I mean,
You're allowed to have your point. If you don't think he's gonna be the 3rd, everybody can't be right. So therefore, if somebody comes out and it's hard to argue that Saquon Barkley wouldn't be the number 1 running back next year.
well,
Or,
he's gone from
at the end of the season. You
he's
go
gone
from
from
an offensive line to one of the best offensive lines in the league. You have 2 stud wide receivers there, a good tight end. You have a quarterback that can run the ball, so that option plays in there, which is gonna hold that Mike linebacker for a split second to see whether or not that ball is still in Hurts' hand. Like, believe me, there's tons of upside to Saquon being number
DeAndre
1.
Swift
So I
finished 6th
cannot.
last year.
What's that?
DeAndre Swift finished 6th in the same offense.
Yeah. And, listen, I'm still high on Swift this year. I really am. I have him in my top 15. A lot of people
Dude,
don't even have him in their top 20. I have him in my top 15. Every year he has been in the league, he has been up there in points and fantasy points.
I think I'm close with him. I haven't, nothing that I have is set in stone. Like, I think, like, I got ATN in my top 10. I've got Josh Jacobs in my top 15. I've got, I think Walker's gonna have a comeback year.
Listen, I didn't think he had a bad year last year. I had him in our keeper league. He
He
did
didn't.
well for me. He played
He
very well for me.
he didn't. I already have my keeper set in our keeper
What
league.
do you mean he didn't? I started him multiple weeks and he got me really good points.
No, I agree with you. I said he didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
him. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. I feel
Right.
a lot of people stayed away from him because there was so much camp news on what the hell is it? Chameleon or Chameleon, whatever the
No,
hell his name is.
it's Charbonnet.
Yeah, Charbonnet, the
Yeah,
other
it's
running back. There was such hype on him coming out of college and about them drafting him that I think people stayed away from Walker. I got him later, I remember. I loved it. I think he was a great running back.
You know who Walker's gonna be? He's gonna be Josh Jacobs 2.0. They're gonna draft a running back every year. He's gonna
Mhm.
beat that guy out, and he's gonna put up the same numbers.
But there is not an issue drafting a run. Shanahan does it every freaking year. He takes a 3rd-round running back. It's like, are you kidding me? You're just going to cut him. Every 3rd-round running back that the 49ers have cut are drafted since Shanahan's been there, we have cut.
Well, maybe they should get a 3rd-round pick for Ayuk, huh?
No, that ain't
Not a
gonna happen.
not a good segue.
No, not
I
at
thought that
all.
was a pretty good lead there.
But since we're talking about Ayuk,
I just thought
uh,
maybe, Go ahead.
Multiple different reports have been going on out there. Jack had said a report that he heard yesterday, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I heard Ayuk's going to be signed by Monday.
Okay. All right. I heard similar stuff chatter yesterday. That he would actually Thursday I heard this. That he would there's a strong possibility he would have been signed sometime between Thursday night and Friday morning and be on the field Friday evening for practice. If not, then he would be signed for the weekend. And then the latest report I heard about 3 hours before we got on, and I'll give a shout out to him because he did report it. Larry Krug on the Kruger Show. He's a staple out in San Francisco. He was on Niners radio for years. He was a scout for NFL teams. So like he knows his stuff. He has his insiders. So when he talks about the Niners, I listen. He's talking about him possibly being traded by Monday. Yes. Two teams that are 1A, 1B is the Browns and Patriots. They are the front runners. I didn't even hear about the Browns until today. Browns were never even mentioned until today. I don't know. I know the Patriots were offering them a second round pick. Niners laughed at them, said, no way, that's not going to happen. So whatever it is, it has to be greater than a second round pick. And for me, the only way I was trading Brandon Ayuk is if I was getting a draft pick and a player in return. Who does the Patriots have that the Niners would even be interested in?
Well,
you know a little bit more about the Patriots than I do, so I'm deferring to you on this. Who do they have?
Yeah, so the Patriots did a good job this year of drafting talented wide receivers. Unproven, but they've got some juice. And I think if you're looking for another Brandon, the word out of Patriots camp is tough right now. Currently, Drake May is losing the camp battle to their 6th round draft pick.
I heard the same thing.
Milton from Tennessee.
Yes,
smoking him.
Yeah, I heard he's outperforming Drake May also. I heard Polk, the wide receiver, is lighting it up though.
So, right, and here's the thought: maybe if New England was to offer maybe a second, a third, Shanahan's just going to draft a bad running back with a third.
That's it.
But and
I can't say. Listen, I can't. They weren't bad running backs in college. They were good running backs in college. They had 3rd round grades on them. It's just that they just never panned out for us. That's it.
But if he offered maybe a second, a third, and Polk, right? And yes, Polk's tape looks strong. So, but I need a guy now because I'm about to get 2 rookie quarterbacks killed by week 4 if I don't have a separator. And I need a guy that knows. Okay, I can't have a guy that guesses.
Yes.
Or a guy that's learning. So that's where I am in New England right now. And Brissett hasn't looked great at all. He's probably towards the end. So decisions need to be made yesterday. And I think New England's starting to sit there and go, look at how much time do we have to get these guys ready? And how many points do we think this team could really score? Because if the answer in New England is 17 points, look at your division. 17 points is going to win a game.
When I mean a player, it doesn't have to be a wide receiver. It doesn't have to be a wide receiver. It could be another edge rusher. For me personally, I'd rather an offensive lineman. Trent Williams isn't reporting to camp. He wants to get his deal redone. And now with Christian Wirf getting his deal done, that kind of gauges a little bit on what we can pay, what we will pay him. Trent Williams, that is. Our right guard broke his hand, I want to say. So he's out. That right guard position is open right now. Our center position isn't that great. I mean, they like him, but they don't love him.
I'd let Trent Williams walk. That's me.
He's still the best tackle in the league. He was
Yeah,
number 7, voted the 7th best player by the players in the NFL on
he's
the
getting a little
NFL 100. He is up there. He's 36 years old. Listen,
he's
he's
get
old.
he's getting a little old. He's
But you
getting a little
also have to
older.
remember he's a young 36 for NFL. You
No,
have to
listen,
remember he had a cancer scare, so
I
he
get
missed
it.
2 years of football.
I'm with you. I get it, and they're polling people that have half brain damage too, so I don't really take their opinions to. No, I'm just saying. Like
But
these guys get hit in the head for a living, and I'm
I
going, hey,
listen,
who's
I
the best
understand,
at that position?
but they're I like the NFL 100 because it's voted on by the peers. That's why I like it.
I do, but I think we have to vote on going forward a little bit. I think the best tackle is Tristan Wirfs.
As far as being factoring age into it, yes.
Right.
But if you're just saying still the best tackle in the league, it's still Trent Williams.
But
Or
I factor age.
top 1 or 2.
But I factor age into contract, don't I?
Oh, absolutely. And we're
Cool.
not he's not he doesn't want years added, he wants a pay raise. So
No,
he
that's
wants
fine.
a restructure.
I'll
Is
look
what
into
he
the
wants.
camera.
He doesn't want a extension. He wants a restructure because
All
of
right.
which I don't agree with, because you signed the contract. Back when you signed the contract, you were the highest paid tackle. It's not the 49ers' fault that these other teams started paying their tackles that was due up a contract more money. Finish your 2 years out.
I'll just look in the camera and go, we need to sign Brandon Ayuk to a contract. So you're either here or you're fired.
Yeah.
That's how it's
Yeah.
going to be. That is how it's going to be, dude. And if you don't want to be the left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, then go be a school bus driver because you're 36 years old. And I understand that you've had difficulties in your career. But
Mhm.
we did sign a contract here, and I'm trying to make everyone happy.
Mhm.
And yes, age does have to factor into this what am I going to pay a 40-year-old left tackle?
Well, that's the thing. That's the
No.
thing, is that they have to factor in and have some type of language in it that deals with injuries. I mean, he missed 4 games last year. You know,
Yeah,
like
and I watched a
that's
game last year where he had 3 false starts in a row,
you know.
which means he
Yeah,
knows he's slowing
that
down.
normally he doesn't do that.
I know.
Normally he doesn't have the false starts, the penalties, the holding penalties. Like without him on that team, we are not making the playoffs. I'll say that right now.
You know who a lot of false starts last year?
Without Trent Williams on this team, we are not making the playoffs.
You know who a lot of false starts last year as well?
Who's that?
Jason Kelce.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because he was retired. He was almost done. That's my point. When the feet start to slow down, the body wants to get ahead of it. All these things are happening. That's what's really starting to go on here. And now you want more money. I'd want more money too, right before I knew I was starting to slow down. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And by the way, left tackle it's a demanding spot.
Very demanding. I mean,
I
so much
think you
that
could
where
find
even
a
right
guy.
tackles now are getting paid.
I think you could find a guy that can do just as fine. I think that saying you won't make the playoffs is an overreaction.
No, that line is garbage.
Trent
Three of
Williams
those 3 losses that we had last year in a row, Trent Williams wasn't there for any of those.
They
He
would
was
cut
out all
him.
3.
They would cut him working for UPS during Christmas season. He's slowing down, dude. I'm being honest. All right. I am.
That's fine, but not like I said, Trent Williams is a intricate part of this team, and without him, we will not make the playoffs. That line, we have not invested anything besides Trent Williams in that line, nothing, and that line is porous. It's gonna get somebody hurt.
We'll see. We shall see going forward. But I mean, I'm not into signing 37-year-old, 36-year-old players to long-term contracts.
And again, he's not looking to get years added to his contract. He's looking to get a pay raise. So it's just a restructure is what it is. But again, you signed the contract back then, you should abide by it.
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing though. Those are my camp news for this week.
Okay.
Well, I've heard One more. And you know what? This doesn't matter to me, because quarterback news doesn't matter, right? Unless it's
Mhm.
a rookie.
Yeah.
Um, this was something minor. I heard Daniel Jones's timing with his wide receivers isn't quite there yet.
Oh,
But
surprise.
I've also seen a highlight of him throwing an absolute Danny Dimes to Neighbors. I mean, it was
Okay.
on a dot. So,
Mhm.
timing with young receivers and a quarterback that hasn't played in 10 months doesn't
Mhm.
I understand his history, but
Mhm.
let's slow that down a little bit. He's
Mhm.
athletic, he can move. I think that these wide receivers that they have in New York can now separate. The timing will come.
Yeah.
So forgive me if the ball's 5 yards off. We're in training camp. It's week 1. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
I'm not trying to defend
listen,
anybody. I just think it's a
that's why you're there. That's why
well,
you're there.
it's a ridiculous statement. That's why you're
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, if I don't run in a
It's
week,
called training camp. It's not a, in-season practice, it's training camp. It's a preseason practice is what it is. It's to
and
get you ready for the practices for regular season.
in the
Now,
same respect.
if this was going on during the regular season, I'd
Oh,
be
it'd be
like,
terrible.
"All right, there's definitely, concerns uh, for that team," but for the Giants, but yeah, it's training camp. I'm not looking at it that way, not right now.
In the same respect, I heard that Baker Mayfield looks ready to go.
Mhm.
That the reports out of Bucks camp are he just played through the summer.
But from what I heard, Bucks camp, McMillan is tearing it up, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Godwin is looking, like his former self before he got injured. So I'm looking at 2 big years from those guys. A little bit more of a down year from, what the heck is, their number 1. Why am I,
Position?
not Godwin. Yeah, wide
Evans?
receiver. Evans, yeah. Mike Evans, I think, is gonna have, not a down year, but definitely a lower producing year than he did last year because I think McMillan and, Godwin is gonna have a, more of an impact this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that Baker was trying to spread the ball around a lot.
Mhm.
And when he got in trouble or the team was down, he didn't spread it around. He went, "Look, man, Evans is gonna catch this." But
What
what he wants or would prefer is that guy to catch the first pass and not me having to go back over here on 3rd and 14.
Mhm. Yes.
So,
Mhm.
if you have more people contributing, yeah, Evans' numbers are gonna come down a little bit. He had 13
Mhm.
touchdowns, went over 1,000 yards.
Mhm.
I still think you'll see over 1,000 yards. I think maybe you'll see 9 touchdowns, 8
Mhm.
touchdowns, right? And, I'm when I'm doing my fantasy wide receiver rankings, I'm starting to in my top 5, am I gonna have Mike Evans? I've been thinking about DJ Moore.
Mhm.
So, I don't really know, and there's no way I can leave AJ Brown out.
Yeah, you can't.
Free.
Yeah, you can't leave AJ Brown out.
So,
Um Another side note on Godwin is they're moving his position back to slot receiver.
he's unguardable there.
Yeah, that's his position is a slot receiver. That's where he made his money is being a slot receiver. So
Yeah,
they're
he would be a
moving him back there. I can't remember who their offensive coordinator is that they hired, but
it's
he
Liam
is from
Cohen.
the
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, he's from the Shanahan,
Yep,
LaForce tree,
McVay.
McVay, all that. So, that type of offense likes to work the middle of the field a lot. So really watch out for Goodwin working the middle of the field in that slot.
And I do wanna say this right before we shift to, a little bit of, late season baseball. Um, Baker Mayfield's season last year was 28 touchdowns. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not true. 28 passing touchdowns. He had a rushing on the ground. So 29
Mhm,
touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and he went over 4,000 yards.
mhm,
As the season went on, and this is important for fantasy football, he got better. He had 300 yards almost every week.
mhm,
He was starting to trend towards on almost every week 300 yard, 3 touchdown, 1 interception guy.
mhm,
And I know that, he hasn't gotten the love and all these other things in the fan, but like if you're looking for a quarterback late in the draft, I know that Justin Herbert is sexy and he just got Jim Harbaugh and all these things. But if we're being honest here, the numbers aren't great. And neither
No,
are Trevor Lawrence. Huh?
and he's hurt again. He's hurt again.
And he's and I just that's what I'm yeah, he's hurt again. And
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, by the way, not a great year. He's got a fantastic
Mhm.
name. He's got a really good looking chin, but not Mayfield's numbers. So when you guys are starting to look at quarterbacks around the 12, 13 area, right? Where I almost have like a Brock Purdy at,
Mhm.
I would also sit there and go, hey, if I can land a top tight end here, maybe I wait on Baker. And in years past, you could sit there and go, well, but will he look at what they're doing in Tampa Bay?
Mhm.
If you pay attention to what they're doing and he gives you 28 and 10 again, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong. That's a nice solid quarterback. That's what
I
you're
mean,
looking
that's
for. You're looking for consistency. You're not looking for a 40-point week one week and then a 13-point week the next week. You need somebody
well, I
that's going to
mean,
consistently get you anywhere from 18 to 25 points every single week from your quarterback.
and the yards are there. It's not like this
Yeah.
is just, I mean, he's bombing the ball.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to kind of sit there and go, guys, you can't assume what has happened historically when you're moving
Mhm.
forward with players.
Mhm.
Things change,
Mhm.
right? Things change.
Yeah, yeah, everything evolves.
Everything evolves.
That's
And
right.
as things go ahead.
What you call it? Rams camp. What was his name? Nakia?
Yeah,
Nakua?
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp are,
Yeah.
both neck and neck. They're both getting the same amount of reps. 1A, 1B there. Reports is Kyrie Williams looks incredible right now.
Oh,
So a little, camp news there. Um, what the heck is his name? Seattle's second-year wide receiver, that
Smith
NB whatever.
McJigba.
Thank you, him. Reports have come out that he has looked way more comfortable this year than last year in his situation. So, I'm not saying that's gonna transition on the field during game time, but, you could tell last year he kinda looked a little bit out of his element. He's looking a lot more comfortable this year. So that just a little bit, of NFC West news.
Okay.
Not too much from, there's not too much reports outside of Arizona. It's being kind of, hush hush there. They're not talking a lot there, which is unusual because in years past, like if you wanted a story, look for Arizona because somebody was talking.
Yeah, it's maybe they've learned to tighten their lips in the desert.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. So yeah, that's a little NFC West news. Next week we'll have a lot more camp news for you because
Oh yeah. There'll be broken
we'll
legs,
be
there'll be
full.
corn
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. Well, yeah. It'd be full, we're all full blown into camp. We'll be into the first preseason game by then. So exciting, exciting
All
time.
right. Moving on to baseball.
Yes.
We're starting to really, yeah, there we go. We're starting a trend. And really what we've done is we've moved from everybody can get it done to only some teams can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. The AL East, I think it comes down to these three teams. Orioles
Okay.
66 and 46. Yankees have the
Mhm.
same record, and the Red Sox are 58 and 51. And the only reason I don't think the Red Sox are going to get into the wild card, but I think it's great to point out the fact that they were projected to finish last in that league.
Okay.
Last in that division. That's what they were projecting. You know what? The White Sox deserve if we had a golden star emoji, it'd be fantastic because they really have outperformed where they were ranked to start the season.
Mhm.
They've had a really good year. They've competed well with the Yankees on national TV, and that's what you want as a Red Sox fan. You want a little
Yeah.
bit of excitement. You've got young players that are starting to come into their own.
Mhm.
Rafael Devers has had just a really great season, and he seems to be the leader of the club.
Yeah.
Um, the Yankees have bats, but no real leaders. It's still the same story.
Mhm.
Judge is marching on at a fantastic rate, and Soto's helping him out as well. There's no real leaders, though.
No, but that team's gonna go as far as Judge stays healthy. If
Yeah, and
he goes down with any type of injury, forget about it. Yankees are done. Same
it's
thing that
weird.
happened last year.
Just they get to the playoffs, and you know what they do? They go, Aaron, you're gonna hit singles, and if he
Mhm.
hits singles, they lose, and they're
Yeah.
just gonna throw him curveball and sliders once they get in the playoffs. It's almost the same story.
Mhm.
Someone on that team, whether it's that Rice kid that they called up or Verdugo, someone's gonna have to come up and like just Bryce Harper the other day has recognized that the Phillies are sliding, lost like 10 and
Mhm.
12.
Yeah.
And he said, we got to cowboy up and figure this out. I'm
Mhm.
not batting well. Nobody's batting well. The mojo's not good on the team. We're a little tired here, long in the tooth. Somebody's got to hit a ball, and we got to
Mhm.
get the spark here. And I don't know whether the Yankees have that guy. I think the Orioles are younger and more fresh.
I agree. Yeah, they're a lot more energized.
They are, right? Henderson
Mhm.
and that team kind of goes. I think the Orioles are going to win that division. I really do.
Mhm.
If we move over to the AL Central, you've got really 3 teams that are right there. You get the
Yeah.
Royals
Yeah.
at 62 and 50 with Bobby Witt Jr. playing out of his mind
Mhm.
this season. Home run
Yeah.
derby, played well, participated well in all the events. He's really having an awesome season. He's not George Brett, but he feels like he's there for the Royals.
Mhm.
You got the Twins 61 and 48. They got real pitching. They got the Twins are odd because they feel like they're good enough to be leading that division. But the Guardians have just been a little bit better all year at 67 and 43. But
Yeah.
with that being said, 5 games back, if the Twins are your wild card, they are dangerous.
Mhm.
They are they
Very
are
dangerous. Absolutely.
they are Mr. T, knock you out, Rocky 3 dangerous because they have pitching.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, man, there's a leadoff hitter there. His name is Castro. He gets on base.
Mhm.
The Byron Buxton, that bat can go off at any time. Carlos Carrera. Twins are dangerous,
Yeah. Yep.
right? So shifting, we talked about. We'll shift to the NL. We got the Phillies.
Wait. So what you're saying is my White Sox doesn't have a chance in hell? We're only 41 and a half games behind first.
They're gonna have to make a massive. They're gonna have to really work a little bit harder.
I mean, they've lost 19 in a row. Their last 10, 0 and 10,
They're gonna, they're gonna. I bet on them the other night.
Did you?
Kind
Oh,
of. I bet on the Twins pitcher not to record 17 and a half outs during his start against the White Sox. I was like, nah, the White Sox will get some hits. Oh,
yeah.
was I wrong?
Yeah.
Boy, did
Yeah.
he record every out he possibly could. But it was only a couple bucks. Wow, we're talking about bets and baseball. Oh, Pete Rose, you'd
Mhm.
be proud, baby. Look at the Phillies bats haven't been working. This is bet your house for the week. The Phillies
Mhm.
bats have not been working, and they've been, playing lackluster out in Seattle. Okay,
Mhm.
those are facts. But I think that, I think Seattle won 3-1 2 nights ago, and last night it was what I think the Phillies may have won. They were up 1-0, I believe, in the 6th inning.
Mhm.
Someone's got to hit the ball today. So I got an alert that I should have taken about 7 runs.
Mhm.
Right? Take the over. So what I did is I went on my app and I went, look it, 7 runs is great. And it actually went up to 7.5, which is
Mhm.
good. There was juice on the 7-run bet. So I went under and I took the 6.5. So I took 6.5 over runs. I just
Mhm.
came in under it just to be a little bit, just to have myself a little bit of space.
Mhm.
So I took Philadelphia Phillies, Seattle Mariners over 6.5 runs tonight. Actually, the
Okay.
game kicks off. Eric kicks off the game. First pitch is at
4:10.
4:20, I believe.
4:10
4:10.
is yeah, 4:10. I have it up right here. They lost
4:10.
yesterday
So
5-6. The Phillies did.
what happened?
They lost yesterday 6-5.
Yeah.
Phillies did.
So
Mhm.
but their bats are alive now. right? Just starting to hit the ball a
And
little bit.
overall, they have lost.
Bad.
Where I just seen that. Yeah, yeah, they have. They've been on a bit of a losing streak. They've lost 6 in a row. Last 10, 2-8. So
Yeah,
for
it's
a
not.
team that has been on fire, I mean, they still lead the NL.
Yeah.
Even with that skid that they're taking. I mean, yeah, I mean, you lost 6 in a row. They're playing the Mariners, who isn't that great. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't take it today. So I totally agree with you. I would just take me personally, I might just take the money line on that and drop like $50 on it.
What's it look like? Are the Phillies favorites? They're
I
due.
don't
They're due,
know.
baby.
I have
They're
to
like a
look on
they're
that.
like a due baby. They're due, baby. Anyway, so round
Uh,
out that division. The Braves have done all right, 60 and 50, despite not having Strider for most of the season, Acuna for most of the season. So, that Braves team is loaded. It's just been a tough year for them.
mhm.
Uh, and in our New York Metropolitans started off the season not knowing there was a season started. Quite frankly, they were 13 games back at one time, but they are 58 and 52, and they're playing really good baseball.
Okay.
So think about all the series that you have to win when you start off 13 games back.
Mhm.
I mean, you really
They
have to, yeah, you have to catch fire, and they have.
Yeah.
To be 58 and 52 is fantastic, and
Mhm.
baseball is better when the Mets are good.
Absolutely.
But I think
Absolutely.
the Phillies are going to win that division, though. I mean, that's just
To update you on the, Phillies, they are, negative 1.5, so they're 120, negative 120 for the money line. Which isn't it still isn't that bad. I would take that. So they are favored, the
maybe I'll
Phillies
take it
are.
and watch it. Who knows what I'll do?
Yeah, like I
I already
said,
took
that
the
money
over.
I would take the money line. Just a little side note quickly on the Minnesota Twins. Right now, they are rocking the White Sox. It is the top of the 3rd, and they are up 8-0.
Woo! Oh, Ric Flair's in Minnesota, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Go Twins. So we'll shift the NL West real quick. Look, no one believes that the Padres or the Diamondbacks are going to win the division.
Mhm.
Right? It's the Dodgers' division to lose. But I do want to highlight
Absolutely.
the fact that despite all the talent that the Dodgers have, they're only 64 and 47.
Mhm.
And the Padres are 60 and 52. That's not a huge gap.
No,
It's
they're only
certainly
four
not
and a
the
half games
gap.
behind.
Huh?
They're only 4.5 games behind. That could be
Right.
easily made up.
Right. It's not the gap that everybody thought it was going to be. By the way, the Dodgers have not been at any point this season the best team in baseball. It's been the
No,
Phillies. It's been the Guardians. It was the
and the
Yankees
Yankees.
earlier.
Yep. Mhm.
It's gone back and forth between the Guardians and Phillies. I think the Orioles had it for a minute. At
Yeah.
no point was it the Dodgers.
Mhm.
So I understand how
But
great Ohtani is.
but I think that's good for the Dodgers because they're not no longer the front runner there, so they don't have all the pressure on them. That might be better for them.
And here's what's crazy. The Dodgers should be really neck and neck with the Diamondbacks because I've personally watched their closer blow 4 games when they were up by 2+ runs.
Mhm.
Paul, and by the way, his name is Paul Sewald. He was fine in the World Series, but it looks like they're going to go by a closer by committee now there in Arizona.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how bad it's gotten. I mean, I
Mhm.
watched they were up 4-1 at the Pirates and lost 8-4
Yeah.
in extra. And oh, dude, it was.
Mhm.
I sat there and I went, "Well, I watched you lose 3. Let's see what happens." I swear to God, I said, "Well, we're gonna find out." And the
Mhm.
Pirates, once they found out that his curve wasn't coming down so well, they were cracking it.
Yeah.
And you could see him, like, kinda lower his head a little bit. He just knew. And so
Mhm.
Arizona's record's 59 and 52.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do some math here. That's what? 63 and 48?
Yeah.
That's
And they're
the
only 5
Dodgers.
games behind. They're only 5 games behind, Dodgers.
Yeah, and if that bum could close a game. No. No, but I'm
They'd be right
saying, like,
there.
you're right there. And
Yeah.
they were the games were won.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
they were loading up the Gatorade. You know, the
Mhm.
the bubble gum was being thrown in the garbages. They were walking away, and then they started paying attention again, and Paul screwed them again. So yeah, races are getting tight.
Mhm.
Um, I do believe that the Phillies will start like an Olympian. They will kick at the end, but they
Okay.
need to start understanding that we're getting to the end.
Mhm.
Start strong, finish
You
strong. You know,
you think the Braves do you think the Braves or the Mets will take a push in that division at all, or
here's what's gonna happen. I think if the teams that get hot, I think if the Diamondbacks could get hot and the Mets can get hot,
Mhm.
they can get in
Okay.
wild card.
Mhm.
The Braves, it's been a long season, and it was a long season before it even started.
Yeah.
And you know, they played the Marlins last night. It was like 3-3 forever, and I'm just kind of watching a team that looks like they're tired.
Mhm.
You know, they could use a break.
Okay.
It just feels that way. I think the Yankees are going to find their way in,
Mhm.
and I think the Twins are really interesting to me, and it's not just because I like the Twins, and I do.
Mhm.
I like the Twins, but if you they have 2 aces. They got an ace in Ryan, and they got an ace in Lopez, and then they got a bunch of guys who can go 4 innings
Mhm.
that have, like, different styles. They got a guy that comes in, and he just throws sliders. Good luck hitting him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And by the way, as a hitter, I don't need this garbage in the 6th inning. I've been doing pretty well against, I just started hitting a guy. No,
Mhm.
he throws sliders that end up rolling away from the catcher, but it doesn't matter because I'm laying on the ground because I swung at it. Having some guys like that gets interesting as the season wears on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. This guy thinks he's going to throw a 70-mile-an-hour slider at me. And the Twins have
Mhm.
some guys like that. And I think those are the guys that play in the playoffs.
Okay.
You know, Judge is great for records. You got to give me doubles in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So that's all I have on that.
Yeah, I like I personally in the playoffs and, the World Series, your postseason baseball, I like small ball. I think small ball wins more than the long ball.
It's it does. It
Yeah.
does. Long ball sells tickets, small ball sells, championships, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, 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 it's small ball is more sustainable than the long ball. You can
Yeah.
count on every game getting a couple runs the hard way, playing baseball the right way, hitting a single, hitting a double, this and that, other than somebody, "Please hit a two-run shot so we can win."
Yeah. If we're being honest, that's how the Phillies lost last year. The long ball went away.
Mhm.
Diamondbacks
Yep.
started stealing bases, and that's all they did.
Mhm.
They frustrated them by
Yeah.
stealing bases. So, that's it. It's a proven record. Much like defense wins championships. Look at I need offense to win fantasy football championships,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
sometimes
but yeah, defense wins championships in the NFL, it's proven.
it is. It is.
Mhm.
Quick hits. You got anything? Or we cover everything?
Quick hits, one thing I wanted to say real quick, Mike Trout out for the season again. Done. Quick stat on him. First 9 seasons in NFL, his WAR was 72.5. Last 5 seasons dropped down to 13.6.
Yep.
He's only played 24 games this year. 24.
Yep.
Uh, mm, uh, I guess my take on it is watch who you pay. He had injury history throughout his career. They dumped a ton of money on him. I get it. Look at his first 9 seasons in the, major leagues, but you bring a guy in that has that kinda accolades and then, he's injured for most of his play with you. He doesn't help you at all. He hasn't helped them 24 games this year. Buyer beware, I guess, is my thing.
I don't have a quick hit, but I have a take on that.
Okay.
I don't like and have never liked quiet players.
Mhm.
I like guys that talk. I like guys that
Yeah.
brag. You know me. I'm a talker,
Mhm.
right? I'm in
Mhm.
your face. I'm barking the whole time. But I like guys like that because I feel like
Mhm.
guys like that are invested. They care,
Mhm.
right? It'll hurt their feelings if they lose. I
Yes.
I, I don't want to see a guy that just is happy, just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
God, I can't think of his name right now, but he plays for the Colorado Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
His last name is Cove, I think. Look that up. I think you can find it real quick. Cove or Cave. That's his last name. But anyway, he's this like 30-ish year old
Jake Cave.
Jake Cave. See the gray on the beard?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy wants to win. He's, you know what he is? He's every kid's dream. He's in the major leagues. He's a journeyman, and he wants to win every single game. And when the Rockies are on, I enjoy watching him because
Mm-hmm.
he plays amongst a bunch of kids, and the kids are learning, and he cares about winning every game because it could be his last game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
He
think,
played last year. He played with the Phillies, and then before that, he was with the Twins. So
and so look at the teams that he plays for. He's playing for franchises that are winners.
yes,
They care. And he cares,
Mhm.
and he wants to play good baseball. And I'm not saying Trout doesn't care, but he's the most. I've said this for years about him. He's the most boring hitter I've
Yeah.
ever seen. I would
Yep.
rather watch Bryce Harper strike out
Mm-hmm.
than watch Mike Trout hit a double. And by the way, I
He
got a
plays
question.
with no emotion at all. He's like a
Have you ever
statue out
seen-
there playing.
Have you ever seen Mike Trout argue a call?
No,
No.
not that I could remember.
Do you ever
Not
think
that
he
I
got a
can
bad
remember.
pitch?
Oh, absolutely,
But he doesn't argue it.
absolutely. No, he
No,
doesn't.
just no, nothing. Nothing. No, I've seen
Yeah.
seen Bryce Harper walk from home plate to third base and almost kill the guy.
Yeah,
Give me him.
yeah. I know. In baseball, your career could drop off dramatically very quickly. I mean, that WAR statistic alone is just huge. I mean, 72.5. Just to let you know, that 72.5 was third in Major League history in that 9 season stretch. He was third in Major League history in WAR.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
guy was a phenomenal talent. It's just he's a shell of himself anymore. And they paid him
Yeah.
all this money for what? To play 24 games?
Yeah, again, phenomenal, quiet talents. And for me, I know that everybody loves Derek Jeter and he was the captain of the Yankees. Watch some of those old tapes and how Brett Gardner used to look.
Mhm.
Because Brett Gardner, he wasn't the greatest batter. He wasn't the prettiest man. But I'll tell you what, he cared about baseball, and he would be
Yeah.
screaming from the dugout. I could remember them. I can
Mhm.
remember the photos. Give me 10 Brett Gardners, and I
Yeah.
don't care about a Mike Trout. I really don't.
Mhm.
And I know you
Yeah.
need a mix of everybody, but at the end of
Mhm.
the day, if you're not passionate or angry when things aren't going well, I don't need you around.
Yeah, I want somebody that I feel like is invested.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what? Like a guy that walks in and goes, "What's going on here?
Mhm.
We're losing games."
Absolutely.
Like to sign a contract with a team that didn't have any aspirations of bringing in this guy or bringing in this guy. But by the way, Ohtani walked. Did they even talk to each
Yeah.
other before he walked?
Yeah, no, there
Okay.
was reports that they were gonna offer him a contract, but it never surfaced that they offered him anything.
So to me, Mike Trout will go down in history as a good baseball player.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, had a chance to be the all-time great, be known as one of the all-time greats, and just fizzled off. But no, by no means of his own, possibly. Just injuries overtook his career, like we've seen a lot of players in a lot of
Yeah.
sports. It's
Boring.
just incredible that that one statistic for his first 9 years in the league. Like, guy was incredible. He really was.
Yeah. I never tuned in to watch him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I've never been much watching a whole game of baseball, but I'm a big guy on highlights, big guy on ESPN top 10 plays. It just seemed like he was always on there.
Was he
He
ever in
was a
Home Run
staple for
Derby?
years. That I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't think I don't want to say he was. I just feel like most of those guys never do.
I feel like he was there.
Mike
Like,
Trout.
That's all I
Hold
feel. I
on,
feel like
let
he
me,
was there. Like, hi, I might like barely. It's just the Trout hanging out.
No, he never participated in the home run derby.
Yeah,
Yep.
even Major League
Yeah,
Baseball was like, we think
saying
you're
he
boring.
prefers spending, time with his family.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you know.
Fantastic. That's cool. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna buy
Girl.
your jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying his jersey anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah,
So
to
even
each your
even
own. If you don't wanna participate, you don't wanna participate.
Even Jose Canseco was like, "Everybody's doing steroids." Well, what
Yeah.
did you say? He was mad he got caught at least. Like, I feel like Trout would be like, "Well, they were some steroids
Well,
and,
yeah,
you
they
know."
were there on the table, and I thought I'd take some, and
Yeah, we took the steroids, right? And everybody's like, "I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about."
what are you talking about?
You cra Trout's gone
Uh,
crazy. All right, I don't have
yeah,
anything else.
Palmeiro, we didn't take it. We didn't take anything. I mean, there's the camera. Let me point my finger harder at you.
We didn't take it. Yeah, that's right. It was jammed
Yeah,
in your thigh. You didn't take it.
Remember him pointing his finger at Congress? We
Yeah.
didn't do it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Found
Raphael.
out later on you did. Too bad.
Yeah.
You still had a nice swing, buddy. Still had a
Hey.
nice swing.
He was 60 years old hitting bombs.
Exactly. Yeah, he was. All right, but that's it. That's all I got for this week. That's all I got.
All right,
for
guys,
this
we will we'll see you back next Sunday on the Every Point Sports Podcast with Greg and myself. Right, Greg?
That's right. Jack Neary,
Oh.
Fantasy Farm Sports. Make sure we check him out.
Yeah, I got wide receivers coming our way.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Jack are gonna have some good we're gonna talk after this, and we're gonna get some of our rankings in these podcasts coming up, because we know you guys are itching to hear our rankings. You guys are gonna have your drafts coming up. You need to know who to draft, who not to draft, and you need Jack and I's advice to tell you that. So yeah. So I can't wait. I can't wait to help you guys win your league.
Yeah, and lose ours.
Because we're giving away all of our secrets. That's the one thing I thought about this year. I'm like, this is our first year doing this, but anybody that's on our team can know our strategy by watching our show.
I don't care. They're not good enough.
They can't beat us.
I'm smack talking right now. I'm your 2023 champion, baby. You're 2022. Nobody cares about what they are.
Listen, I was 2023 champion too.
I know.
In our keeper league.
That's
all
right.
right.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Just so we're in.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to these bums.
Okay. All right. All right.
We got
you are
4
talking to 2 champions right here, multiple time champions. I mean, you look back on our fantasy career, we could fill up a freaking shelf with our championship.
We do. Yeah. And you know what? At Thanksgiving dinner, that's really what I brag about.
That's all I had to brag about.
You know, I'm a fantasy champion. They're like,
I'm
yeah,
a fantasy champion, and right now I'm in first place in my league, and I'm still undefeated in 2 leagues. 1 league I have a loss.
Yeah,
was
my
me
family's
last
like,
year.
I think he's slow. Your
Right,
bad
should we
reality.
bring the short bus? Should we bring the short bus around for you?
I'd be like, I'm awesome at fantasy. That's great. Can you cut the turkey? This is getting awkward with you having the knife in your hand. I don't know how
Somebody
your
please
guys
take the knife from Jack.
What?
Said somebody please take the knife away from Jack.
That's how it is. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Same time, same channel. Better information.
Have a great day.